Welcome back, everybody. My name is Lewis, and this is Man Bites Film. This week we are gonna be reviewing Meet the Patels. This is a documentary style film on Netflix, currently streaming, and it is fantastic. This is probably one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. I give this a 9 out of 10 on my rating system. It was directed by Geta Patel, probably killed that, and it follows Ravi Patel, which is the brother of the director of the film. He's 30 years old in America. His parents came here from India, and they continue, obviously, like most Indians, they continue the tradition of what they learned in India, basically, arranged marriages, this and that and the other. And he was kind of against that at first, and his parents basically said, give it a shot. You're 30 years old, you tried it your way, it hasn't worked. So basically they called him a freaking loser because he's 30 years old and single. But so he ends up trying to do the arranged marriages and all that stuff, and he ends up traveling to India, ends up trying to do this huge network that the Indian people here in America have, and he goes to conventions, which is the craziest thing I've ever seen. And the documentary has heart. It actually makes you feel a certain way. It makes you identify with these characters that are completely from a different culture. Even though they are American, they're raised in a completely different culture than most people. So it's a completely new perspective for people that didn't get raised in that culture. And I loved it. It was great. It actually makes you want to know more about these guys and how common the name Patel is. It gets examined in this film. It's a really good watch. It feels like a movie. You actually feel like you're just following this day in the life type of movie instead of a documentary. The guy, he's very lively. He's very animated. He has a personality. He's an actor type of thing, So he's great in it. He actually shows emotions, shows a range of emotions. And then the sister too, they do some cool animation in it as well, and it just overall it works so well. I laughed so many times. I identified with the characters. I understood where the parents were coming from and how they drew that conclusion. It's just very identifiable movie for probably, I would give the target range probably somewhere between 22 to about 40 or so. Those are the people that would actually understand this movie and get the point of it. So it's a very well done though, and it's very enjoyable. So please check this out. It's currently streaming on Netflix. It's only an hour and a half, and it goes by really fast. So you guys will be able to watch this without a problem.
Kind of woman that's so in love would find me vision on every song. Oh no, I think I'm gonna miss her. If I let go, they'll be let down. We fight the same things, but I won't come around, 'cause I know you've done it all before. Shame on you. Shame on you too. Just find the legend on my place. Weave through the meadows in the haze where it's cold.
Welcome back, everybody. That was Modernage, and of course, that was such. I love that style of music. That's my type of music, personally. Now I want to go into a couple other documentaries that were really cool, but didn't quite meet up, obviously, to the Patels. And again, documentaries is not my strong suit, so it's not really something that I concentrate on very often. So this one is The Look of Silence. It's Joshua Oppenheimer's look at Indonesia's revolution in 1965, and it follows basically the death squad members of the Indonesian anti-communist movement. But in reality, the anti-communist movement, which is a very realized in this documentary, but it's drilled into your head in such a way that it's obviously being drilled into your head and drilled into these political points of view. It follows this guy that he's an optometrist, and he's going from village to village helping these guys out and basically talking about the execution of his brother that was executed by these guys. And they have no remorse for it. They think that they're doing basically a good thing by killing these people because they were communists. And because of the indoctrination the US gave them, propaganda that the US fed them, all this stuff, it was a perfect storm of hatred built up in the 60s about communist movement and everything. And these guys were basically the foreground of the pure hatred for communism that America had in the 60s. And this is what the result was. And this is the result of propaganda gone completely awry. And the documentary, it's very slow. If you're into history, you'll enjoy it. But if you're not into history, you really will not enjoy this film. It's very hard to get through. It just kind of like, it keeps drilling this point over and over again. And it's like, okay, I got the point. 20 minutes into the film, it could have ended and it would have been good. But no, they continued on for an hour and a half. So I give this a 3 out of 10 just because of that. Personally, in my opinion, I gave it a 5 out of 10, but that's because I enjoy history. Next one. This one was very interesting, and I kind of didn't like it after I finished watching it, but I got over it and I really enjoyed it after I finished watching it and a few days after. It's called Jadeosky's Dune. This actually follows this director, Jadeosky, in his attempt to make Dune in the 70s, before David Lynch made his. He basically came off of being able to do whatever the fuck he wanted after a very successful film that he had made, and he was given the opportunity to choose what project you want to choose. So this crazy guy chooses Dune. He's never read the book before, but he's heard that it was amazing and that it will be a beautiful film to make. And he starts organizing this team. He starts doing the snowball, like just all these crazy artists, these amazing team of artists, special effects guys, all these, I mean, he even had Salvador Dali as the emperor at one point. I mean, it was a lot. It was an A-team of everybody in Hollywood and Europe that came together to try to make this film happen, and it fell apart because of financing and mostly because of the director. Nobody wanted to give this guy the money that he needed to make this epic freaking project, because it was epic what he wanted to do. And Dune is a book that you could easily get carried away in making, and it's very hard to interpret into a movie because of the length of the novels and everything. It's just really hard to do. So he attempts to do this with artists like Giger, like Dali, like all these different special effects artists that were amazing too. Basically, the team went on after the project fell apart to make one of the most successful science fiction movies, Alien, right after this thing fell apart. And it continues to surprise me, all the crazy creativeness that he had put into this project already. He had done actually a huge book. It was a storyboard book, okay? And the thing's about this thick, and he carries that binder with him everywhere. this thick and about this long. All right, that thing was massive, with full storyboards of the whole film. Okay, and they go into that in the documentary and how eccentric this man was. But honestly, if I was a studio, I wouldn't have given him the money either. It was like, yeah, no, dude, you're not gonna get my money at all. At all. It's just not gonna happen. That guy he didn't know how to organize a team. He didn't know how to do these things. So it's like, yeah, why would I give you money to make that? Not a chance, dude. Not a chance. So Jadeosky's Dune is not streaming currently. You could ask to wait for it on Netflix, or you could actually stream it on Amazon Prime currently. Look of Silence is actually on Netflix. Sorry, I didn't mention that before. And Meet the Patels is on Netflix as well. So that's our episode for this week. And I hope you guys watched the next week's episode. And I hope you guys enjoyed my little political episode last week. So my name is Louis. This is Man Bites Film, and we'll see you guys next week.